Hola, Sabrina here. Today I want to talk about the now moment and that we only have this moment. But the more we are really being aware and living in the now, the more we can live as source in every moment. Because we are source. We are this I amness. We are the power behind our body and our mind and our thoughts and our feelings and the outer circumstances. It is so important that we are really are being aware that we are creating our own reality, that we are source in every moment, and we only have this moment all the time. And the outer world will always reflect who we are now. And in the next moment, now, and now. And in every moment, we are aware and we are choosing that version we want to be. We cannot avoid to see that that is what is going to be reflected in the outer world. But often it is when we are not seeing the results that we want, often it is because we are remembering, we are remember we are source, we are remember our power, we are remembering the version we want to be, and we can feel it and we are choosing it. And then maybe we are forgetting it again. We are going out in our everyday life and we are seeing something or reacting of something in the outer world or something other people are saying. And then we are just forgetting who we are. We have been running off the old program. So in that moment, we can remember, we can stop up every time we are remembering that we have forgot it, because we can train to be aware in every moment. We can train to walk around in our knowingness that we are source. And that is what we can practice in this community. So really practice that we can create everything. We can choose everything because we are source. We are all source and we are all creating our own reality. And I want to show you this picture I have drawn here, because sometimes it can help a little to see a picture, a mental picture we can remember, we can use to remember who we are. So we are source, we are our I amness. And we only have this moment all the time, this now moment. We have been so conditioned to learn that we are living in a timeline where we have the past, the now, and the future. We have learned to think so linear. So we have bought into that story we are telling ourselves from the past of who we are. But when we know we only have this now moment, then we can be aware of that is not the past in that way that we have learned it. Because you cannot go back to the past. You can remember something in the now. So when you are remembering of something from the past, maybe it's an event you are thinking about, then you are putting it into the now and activated it here in the now moment. So the past is not real. The past is a mental picture you are activating in the now. And the totally same is with the future. What you are thinking about in the future, if you're thinking about an event you are dreaming about, or if you're thinking about an event you have experienced in the past, then you will activate it in the now. It's the same practice you are doing. It's the same thing you are doing. You are activating a mental picture. So try to do it in this moment. Think about what you were doing yesterday. Then you can see that mental picture right now. And that is what you are activating in the now. But if you're thinking about what you want to do tomorrow, it's the complete same thing you're doing. You are putting it into the now and activate it just like a mental picture. And our whole life is mental picture. And that is what we are creating with. We are creating that picture we have inside of us. And that story we are telling. And that is what we are creating and making of that physical experience we are experiencing in the 3D, in the outer world. So when we know that, it is much more fun to play with because we can really see that we are creating everything ourselves. So when we know we only have this now moment, then we can practice to be aware in that moment now what we want more of. So instead of thinking so much from the past and creating the same story over and over again of who you are saying yourself you are, then you can just create another version of you that you prefer to be. And if you're giving more attention to that version and to the past version, that is what you are creating in the now. So we have been so conditioned to think that that is real. And when we are thinking linear in that way, we will always experience similar because we cannot think that we can just create something huge because we are thinking linear. We are thinking that was what I am, and that is what I can do now, and it's similar in the future because that is me. We are telling that linear, separate story about ourselves. But when we be more aware of we are source, when we are remembering we are source, we can choose so many other timelines that is more in alignment with our dreams and the future we want to create. So you can see here, that is all the different frame, that is all the different version of you can choose in every moment. So in that moment, you are choosing, if you're choosing that version of you prefer to be right now, you are shifting from that frame to that frame. And in the next moment, you are thinking something again and you are shifting frame. That is how we function. And it is a good way to have this mental picture. So you always can say, wow, right now, I am choosing a version where I am thinking limit, where I am thinking from the past and I'm thinking I cannot do it. So it's so much about being aware. It's so much about training our awareness and training that we are source. And that is what we have to practice. And that is what we can practice here. It is detaching from the old version of ourselves, detaching from the outer world and what we have learned is the real world. But that is not quite true because the real world is here right now. The version you are creating right now, that is you because you are only here. If you're thinking what you can think about yesterday or 1 hour ago, or that linear story you normal are buying into, that is you. But that is only because you are activating it now. So you can just start to activate that story you prefer to be instead. And that is what we have to practice. And that is what we have to choose if we want changing our life. Because otherwise we will always get similar because we are trying to change our life linear. And that is normal, what we have learned. And many people are still learning other people in that way, that we have to take step by step and we have to do something. We have to really do something instead of be. And that is the important thing to learn here, that we have to know that we are source. And we are changing when we are being, when we are choosing from inside, when we are choosing that we are knowing that we are our I amness, we are source. It is in the now moment. And we are becoming, we are being that version. And we don't have to do things to do it. Yes, we can do things because it's fun, but the change is when we know, when we are being, when we know we are choosing that version we want to be. Okay, I think it was enough for today. Otherwise, it's going to be too long, the videos. But text me under here if whatever you have on your heart. I really would love your comment, because that is what I can use to be better, to learn how I can serve you better and how I can explain it better, or what you are getting out of this I am teaching you here. So I'm really hoping that you want to comment under this video. And otherwise, we are seeing you tomorrow in the next video.